David Lowry's The Green Knight is based on Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, a 14th century English poem written by an anonymous author. It stars Dev Patel as Gawain, Joel Edgerton as the Lord, and Alicia Vikander as both the Lord's wife and Essel the prostitute. The original story is about Sir Gawain, a knight of King Arthur's Round Table, who sets out on a quest, strangely enough, to allow himself to be decapitated by an anthropomorphized tree who calls himself the Green Knight. However, in Lowry's movie, Gawain is not yet a knight.
You a knight yet?
What?
You a knight yet?
Not yet.
Better hurry up.
I've got time. I've got lots of time.
Gawain's mother, Morgause, is King Arthur's sister. She's also a witch, and she's worried about her son's lack of motivation in becoming a knight. So she and her coven conjure the Green Knight into existence to provide a challenge for Gawain to prove himself worthy of that distinction. Events are set into motion when the Green Knight visits King Arthur at Camelot on Christmas Day to challenge one of his knights to a potentially lethal game. He who accepts the challenge will first receive the Green Knight's axe as a gift. Then he must strike him with a sword. A year later, the Green Knight will return the blow with equal force. Gawain accepts the challenge but decapitates him with one blow. Incredibly, the Green Knight survives, retrieves his head, and reminds Gawain that he must meet in exactly 1 year at the Green Chapel, a 6-day ride away.
Never forget what happened here upon this Christmas Day.
The problem for Gawain is that he decapitated the Green Knight, meaning Gawain must allow the Green Knight to decapitate him as well. To prevent this, however, Gawain's mother gives him a green sash with magical properties that will prevent any harm from coming to him. Gawain then tells Essel, his favorite prostitute, of the challenge. She thinks the idea is nonsensical.
Are you really going to go?
Should I?
I like your head better where it is.
I gave my word. I made a covenant.
This is how silly men perish.
Or how brave men become great.
Why greatness? Why is goodness not enough?
She raises an excellent point. Being good should be enough, if being great means losing one's life. Also, she's fallen in love with Gawain and wants to be in a real romantic relationship with him. But Gawain is too immature to do it.
What if I wanted to sit by your side and take your hand and have your ear? What will you say to that? Why, yes, Essel. I'd like that very much.
Despite Essel's objections, Gawain leaves on his quest, but finds himself not quite up to the task. Soon after leaving Camelot, he encounters a scavenger on a battlefield strewn with dead bodies, a battle that King Arthur recently fought. Gawain asks for direction to the Green Chapel. The scavenger obliges and asks for payment, but Gawain only gives him a miser's tip. However, the scavenger's directions lead Gawain to a trap where 2 thieves are waiting to rob him. The scavenger complains that Gawain's tip was too small and that the robbery is punishment. He takes the Green Knight's axe and the protective green sash. The robbers then tie him up and the scavengers ride off with his horse, leaving Gawain for dead. However, he eventually frees himself and continues on his journey. He then reaches the home of Winifred, a woman who was decapitated by her suitor after she refused to have sex with him. At first, she appears to Gawain as a normal human being, but he realizes something's wrong when she asks him to retrieve her head from the bottom of a spring next to her house.
I fought him off, but he returned in the night and broke down my door. I tried to flee, but he cut off my head. He threw it in the spring, and now, try as I might, I cannot get at it.
My lady. My lady. Are you real or are you a spirit?
What is the difference? I just need my head.
Finally, Gawain agrees. He jumps in, finds a skull at the bottom of the spring, and brings it to the surface. He reunites her head with her body, and the Green Knight's axe reappears a few feet away. Later he encounters a group of giants and asks for a ride to the Green Chapel, but backs away in fear when one of them tries to pick him up, demonstrating that he's both lazy and a coward. Finally, by sheer chance, he finds a castle where an exhausted Gawain is taken in by the wealthy couple who live there. After regaining his strength, he explains his quest. Strangely, the wife is a beautiful woman who looks exactly like Essel. The Lord offers to play a game with Gawain. He says he will go hunting every day Gawain stays with him and will give him whatever he kills. In exchange, Gawain must give him whatever he receives as a gift in the castle. The lady gives him a book and then asks for a kiss on the cheek in return. She also gives him a green sash, identical to the one his mother gave him. Later she seduces him and then criticizes him for giving in.
Go on, take it. Take it. You are no knight.
Predictably, Gawain says nothing to the Lord about his sexual encounter with his wife, demonstrating once again he doesn't have quite what it takes to be a knight. During his journey, Gawain befriends a fox which turns out to be a magical creature capable of speech, but remains silent most of the time. As Gawain is nearing the Green Chapel, the fox speaks for the first time and warns Gawain not to continue because his life is at stake.
Why do you stop me? I cannot tarry.
Go that way, and your doom is at hand. You will find no mercy, no happy end.
What witchcraft is this?
As it's speaking, the voice changes into that of his mother's, suggesting his mother has been accompanying him for most of his journey. Gawain's mother is also represented by a blindfolded woman that's always present in the house of the Lord and the Lady. These events represent Morgause's conflict as a parent between allowing Gawain his independence and protecting him. When Gawain reaches the Green Chapel, the Green Knight is in a state of hibernation. His face faintly changes from one person to that of another, but they're the faces of all the people he knows. This shows that the Green Knight represents all of society, and Gawain's quest was, in reality, to do something honorable and honest in front of that society. Gawain presents himself to be killed, but loses his nerve and flees. The movie then shows a video montage of his life, first as a knight, then as a king. His son dies in battle, rival armies defeat him, and his family leaves him. Suddenly the scene changes as Gawain is back in front of the Green Knight. The story of his life was apparently a fantasy of what he thought it would be if he chooses not to accept his fate. He then removes the green sash and allows the knight to strike, but the movie ends just before the fatal blow. There's a post-credit scene where a baby picks up Gawain's crown and places it on her head. Lowry said he included this scene to end the movie on a positive note, because in an earlier edit of the movie, the Green Knight decapitates Gawain. Good night, and always remember to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks very much.